Leave me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scottish Silverback Podcast. This is episode 17, and this week we've got Mr Universe Dan McNab on.
Ooh.
And yeah, is it coming home tonight, or what's happening?
I think. Well, we were just talking about that. How Alice was like, "Oh, it's a shame the weather's like shit," and I was like, "It's probably going to work in England's advantage, really." I don't really give a fuck, but if it makes other people happy, like, maybe it'll make the world a better place for a minute. But if we lose, I think I'll just go out less. After, like, Corona and then losing,
That's life over then?
Yeah, I think just, like, even, like, bus rides and stuff would just be horrible.
I just find it so strange if, like, bodybuilders are really into football. I don't know why. There's either people that are, like, do not give a fuck, or there's people that are just, like, mad for it. But it's very rare you find a bodybuilder mad for football.
No, well, you chose bodybuilding so that you could not do something like football, I guess, because there's, like, you know...
It's much rather watch darts.
Yeah, it's like people... Darts is a decent game. Yeah. It's a bit annoying that they, like, stopped everyone from just getting wankered. Like, do you remember, like, back in the day, like, snooker and darts... Yeah, you could tell that it wasn't really a sport, because I think that you can't really call it a sport if you can smoke at the same time. Like, if there was, is it a sport? Can you smoke whilst doing it? And if you can, I think it's safe to say that's probably not a sport. But,
I just love the class as a sport, and like there were 400-pound obese messes, like hamburgers as they were throwing darts.
Fucking legends.
Such a good sport.
What was the big time dart player? He got like sport.
The big guy.
I know, he got BBC Sportsman of the Year one year.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but I know who you're speaking about.
Yeah, aye. But he won it the same year that Flex Lewis won his like 7th 212 Olympia. I was like, obviously the mainstream don't have a fucking clue what that is, but like, what a feat that is. Like a Welsh guy to win that, and we're fucking celebrating this fucking guy who trains in a pub. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just different, is it?
No,
I mean, I suppose you could do like bodybuilding while smoking.
Well, to be honest, mate, like, I haven't done it this prep, but yeah, I've had a few smokes and a few preps. Definitely, I think it's just to keep your mouth occupied.
Just like, it's not food. There's no calories.
Yeah, there's no calories. Just cancer.
I tried getting stoned again, like, to like calm me down so that I could sleep. Mm-hmm. And it actually did completely the opposite and just made me into a weird, shivering, psychotic mess.
That's literally what I do every night. I vape like pure cannabis resin, and it just knocks me the fuck out.
I wish I could, but it literally just opens up a part of my brain that I need left alone. I've spent years locking that bit off. I don't need it to come for me in the evenings.
Wake up screaming.
Yeah, that's what I need. But yeah, when the prep gets bad, I have been known to smash a few Valium. When you're like looking at your sleep tracker and it just says nothing here for you.
It's not even mentioned you've actually slept.
Yeah. It's like my deep sleep. I mean, like, I wear one of these Aura Ring things, and it's bullshit. I don't think it can tell the difference what type of sleep you fucking having. Like, that's why when you go and have like a sleep panel, they put like fucking diodes like on your brain and shit. I don't think it is. Fucking makes it up. If it is accurate, I'm technically dead. So, I'm trying to just make myself feel better that having like 4 minutes of deep sleep this month is fine.
Yeah.
I don't buy into it personally. I think if you wake up and you feel rested and you don't feel tired, you've had a good sleep. That's, you know what I mean? I
think I did that maybe in 1998. I think that was the last time that happened. I literally wake up every morning and just think, I definitely should have died in the night. This is fucked. Like, why? I just sit on the toilet, just staring, just hoping that it gets better. And it usually does.
Do you wear a sleep app?
Yeah, I wear CPAP as well, so that's...
Like, even if I needed it, I really don't think I could get to sleep on it. It would, like, I actually can't even sleep with my fucking Fitbit on, because it's just odd. There's something on my wrist that doesn't feel right when I'm trying to sleep. I don't know what that is, but if I had someone come in my nose, my mouth, I'd be like, no way. I feel like someone's trying to fucking suffocate me.
To be fair, I was like oh, I can't wear a Fitbit watch so I need an Aura ring. But I'll sleep with like basically a fucking face hugger alien on my face. When you first do it, it's fucking like weird because it like learns the rhythm of your breathing. But like, what if you want to change it? What if you? It doesn't know.
Changing my breathing tonight.
Yeah. What if I want to have 2 breaths in and 1 out? Like, what if I want? So like, it is fucking. It did take quite a lot of drugs to get used to. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough.
Initially, there was yeah, it is fucked. It is fucking weird, but it does help. It definitely does help.
Do you not think it's like a badge of honor, a CPAP machine?
A badge of honor, yeah. They
like
are
that
getting
fucking big that you need to wear one.
They are getting yeah, quite popular. This is one of those things that, you know, your average like kind of 8 stone wet bodybuilder, and they're like, you know, they're worried about all the stuff like, oh, I need like fucking sleep aid and this stuff, and like they're taking, you know, 15,000 different like supplements and stuff like that, and they're like, yeah, do you think I need a CPAP? And it's like, don't know, do you wake up and wish you died in the night and they're like, well, no, I like feel all right, but, and it was like, you probably don't need to spend $1,000 on a fucking machine then, really, do you?
Oh, so I take it you don't get it from the NHS then?
No, fuck, mate, the palaver through that, like having the sleep test. You can buy sleep tests that you do at home.
Right, okay.
But I knew Cabela's thought I died like about 5 times, like a week basically. I'd be annoyed that she wake me up. I'd go, "Why are you fucking waking me up?" She's like, "Because you didn't breathe for 3 minutes." Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's probably
She's done the same
plan.
to me. She's done the same to me when I was at my heaviest once. Like, she actually woke me up because I wasn't breathing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, she was like, "Yara," I was like, "I'm fine." She's like, "You're not fucking like, no, you're choking." I'm like, "No." No, I'm just going to die in my sleep. I won't even know.
I've never been able to sleep on my back. I can sleep. You kind of have to sleep on your back with the CPAP, which was quite an adjustment. But yeah, I think you have to. I can't like go to bed and then just put it on. I have to go to bed without it on, and then kind of like feel sleepy. You know, like when you go for a wee and you try and not undo the sleepiness. So you
your eyes are shut.
You do it like really slowly because you don't want to ruin the sleepiness. If you like trod on some like Lego or a dog toy, which is like, then it's fucked. You have to start all over again. Yeah, I have to like fall asleep a little bit, but luckily I don't fall properly asleep because I suffocate. So then I wake up and go, okay, now's the time, but I'm still kind of sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
You should probably actually start the show properly and actually tell everybody who you are.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Just chat.
Off here.
I have to introduce myself. Fucking
so, like, just give us a rundown of like your competitive history.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Dan McNab, also known as Big Pal Nasty, which was a name that I didn't coin myself because that'd be weird to name myself or whatever. But it was just a name that someone gave to me, a guy called James Grealish, and he was filming with Amp and I thought, well, I don't really like the name, but if I don't like it, it'll stick more, and then I'll hate it anyway. So I just thought, oh, fuck it. And then like Amp was all about nasty. Well, you know, nasty if you're up north, nasty down here if you're posh and southern. And so it kind of fitted. So I went with that. Competitive history is like, well, like everyone else, it's like I didn't train to be a competitive. I had no interest in bodybuilding. You know, the idea of standing around in pants in oil was a progressive thing that now is like completely normal. I look through my phone and there's loads of men in pants. It's completely normal. And to compliment a man on his legs is fine now. But at the beginning, that was definitely not my plan. And so I started training because I basically like was a bit naughty and ended up on house arrest and got a tag and all that shit. So I had nothing to do. And then my mate brought a weights bench over and was like, "Why don't you lift stuff and pick stuff up?" And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty boring. I can just do coke at home on my own." And that like kind of wore thin eventually. And so I thought, well, there's this thing, I could pick it up and stuff like that. And I did. And his name was Felix. And I didn't realize that the gift that he'd given me actually wasn't the bench. It was everything that kind of became the structure of that. Just breaking my day up with that at home, like allowed me to structure everything else in my life and be successful, like as a human. And like I did 2 degrees and like from like not going to school since I was like 14. So Anyway, I lifted stuff, and when I got off tag and stuff, and I was allowed to do like normal shit, I went and joined a health club gym because it was the only thing around, and I didn't really know about bodybuilding or anything. I just like to lift the thing. And then after about 3 years of doing that, someone was like, "Why don't you do a show?" And I thought, well, yeah, all right, I'll do a show. Didn't know anything about it. Turned up at the West Britain with no legs at all, and my upper body always grew like quite well, and yeah, got obliterated, absolutely smashed. I think I came fourth in like first timers, and then came fourth in class 1 out of 4. So yeah, I got destroyed, and that was my first little taste of that. And then I guess I was kind of like, oh, I'm a bit annoyed about that. I'll try and do that again, but like not be shit, or not be as shit. I was still relatively shit. Because I didn't know anyone. Like, I did the whole diet basically off an email that was supposed to be for someone else, you know, like eat chicken and rice and stuff. And I was like, okay, I will eat this chicken and rice and stuff like that. And I did my first, well, I didn't do my first cycle because I don't do cycles. But if I was to have done one, I might have done one, if you know what I'm saying, as a teacher. And then I did the show, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I watched some videos for like some of the posing, and my posing was wank. It was awful. I still got the videos now. I watch them to cringe sometimes. It's hideous. Then I did the body power, and
what year is this, by the way?
So that was 2010. Then 2012, I did the body power, and I'd grown like some legs, that was it was body power, but there was no physique. Physique didn't exist. Imagine that. Imagine that, listeners.
Good times. Good times.
It didn't exist. So I didn't have to wait 47 years for loads of people to nonce around in shorts whilst they brought 15,000 of their fans wearing matching t-shirts that then left for the bodybuilding and left the whole auditorium empty, which we saw for about 8 years after. But I'm not bitter. And then, yeah, I won that by default. And then I went to, because there was no one in super heavies, bodybuilding was having a bit of a lull. And then I guess the physique thing after that kind of created even more of a lull. And then I went to the British, and it was Inters, actually. We did Inters, and Luke Sando was there. Neil Andrews was there. I think Josh Malley was there as well, but I don't know whether he was doing open. So it was like all the people we're seeing like kind of now, been doing it like for a while. And I came just outside of top 6. I asked one of the judges in class, and he said, I had you at 7. I don't really listen to feedback because there's always changes and stuff. You know what you need to do. Like, do you know what I mean? It's bodybuilding. Get more massive and get more shredded. Like, oh, I waited for my feedback, and they said, well, fuck off. You know what you need to do. Like, it's just be more massive and get more ripped. Like, so that was what happened after that. Then I had surgery on my legs because I had blood clots in my legs. So I had to have all the veins stripped out of my legs using this weird, like, anyway, I ended up with like 55 incisions on my legs, only little tiny ones, but, and some bigger ones in the groin and behind the knee. So I had a bit of a shit time. But from hospital, I was like, I'm going to do a show because otherwise I'm going to quit fucking training. I'm going to so I planned it in my head whilst forcing Oreos into my face or whatever to make myself feel better. And it gave me the motivation to do that. And there, I was shit again, proper shit. So like, I was like reasonably big or whatever, but the condition was like wank. And it was also my hardest prep. Like I remember how fucking hard it was. I was like being horrible to everyone, including my then missus. And it just went awfully. So 2014, 2016, then I did the Kent Classic, and I won that, and then I did the British, came out tight. Oh yeah, God, and that British was fucking nuts. I think it was the year that Luke won.
UKBF. UKBF, not NABA.
Yeah, UK. Yeah, I started with UKBFF, and Luke won. It was like everyone was there. Like the Giant was there, Hollingshead was there, Samson was there. Like all of them are pro. apart from me. So I'm like just waiting for all these fuckers. So I didn't come top 6 there either. And then UKBFF obviously took a bit of a downward spiral. It like lost the pro card and everything like that. I thought like, it's clicky again now, but it felt really clicky then. And I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. I trained at my home. I didn't know any other people that trained. So I definitely wasn't like, I'm not saying the result would have been, I was definitely like shit compared with all of these guys. And then, so I decided, well, fuck that. I'll switch to NABBA. And then when I win like complete NABBA or get to the top of NABBA, then I'll switch and start thinking about pro cards. So, James Greenish, my friend, was filming AMF for his movie. He did a feature film called 100% Nasty. And I said, James, please take me. I want to go and meet Leroy. He's a fucking, because I watched Blood and Guts like 40,000 times. And I was like, it's the guy, the shouty guy. He shouts the things. No one knows what he's saying. It's amazing. I want to go and see this guy. And I trained with Dorian before that. And I'd asked about Leroy because although Blood and Guts is about Dorian, it is kind of about Leroy.
Yeah.
Like, he's like the intensifier. And so he said, yeah, sure, come along, la la. And then I won there was a competition to win a leg session. I won the leg session and it was horrendous. And I fucking loved it. And then afterwards I said to Amp, you know, have you got any spaces on your coaching and stuff? And they said, well, not at the moment, but, you know, just get Christmas out of the way and then drop me a line in the new year. And that's what I did. And then once I give it, what I did was basically I do the regional show and look all right. Like at the Kent, I looked like decent. And then I basically just go, I need to be more decent. And actually what I did was just become shitter. You know, like, just like, I was already in shape. I was like, rather than just going, cool, let's hold that and chill out and you'll look better and stuff as you go into the next show, I went, I need to do like more. You know, usually when I'm bridging shows, I just drop cardio, try and like chill out. I'm already in shape, try and get in a better, you know, usually fill up better as well.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to do that on my own. And then from there, 2018 was with AMF. I went to do the Welsh because the West was cancelled. But then as soon as I got to the Welsh, they went, oh, yeah, by the way, you can't win the Welsh. And I was like, well, we don't have a show. And they were like, sorry, you can't win. I was like, okay, cool. Well, that's annoying because I kind of want to win. So they did the whole thing and I did the comparisons with the class ones. And then they called me off individually and went, guys, you can't win. So fuck off. And I was like, okay. But you are going to give me a British invite. And they were like, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, hopefully it won't matter when I get to the British. And that was the year that luckily it didn't matter because I won the overall British that year. This is getting very long. I'll try and speed it up. Then the following year, because I'd won the British, I qualified for the Universe. Actually, I think I didn't do that year Universe because basically my grandmother, who I cared for, and used to care for me as a kid, basically died, and I just wasn't. It was about her. I didn't give a fuck about bodybuilding. I needed to be there for the bit. It was a lot, and so I wrote a letter to Val just saying, look, like, can you help me out? I've had a bit of a hardship, a bit of a problem. I did want to do the Universe. Can I get a special circumstances to come and do the next Universe? And very kindly, they took my application and decided to approve it. They said, oh, you have to do the UK. I was just like, well, I can't, you know, like Amp was talking to them, was like, ultimately, if I have to do the qualifier, I'm probably not going to do it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah. So then I did the Universe and things were okay, but I kind of like just started holding water on my abs, which kind of like washed it out a bit. In the morning it was great, and then I was hanging around that was the longest day. That was the hardest day. Mm-hmm. It was just so long, and then I won my class, luckily, and then a very, very sharp Jack Brooker took the overall, which was well deserved. No excuses there. You have to nail it on the day. I'm not saying even if I did nail it that I would have beat him, but I would have liked to have at least seen the best me against that. And it didn't happen. And like, no love lost. He's a great bodybuilder. You know, don't mind me, losing to that. And then I did the pro show.
That was a long.
Oh mate, fucking hell, yeah, because it was got to the class 1, and they're like, cool, do you want to do the pro show? And I was like, oh, not really, not really. And then actually, if you see the videos, I'm really fucking like, I'm shaky at this point as well. I don't like to eat a lot when I'm like on the actual show day, so I'm just like, oh, I don't really want to be there. I actually came out like with 4th, which I was all right with. In hindsight, if I've actually put some fucking effort into it and looked like I didn't want to fucking kill myself, I'm like being able to edge a little bit more. And that was the year Josh Malley won the pro overall, looking outrageous. Then I decided to fly to Amsterdam. Thank you, Alice. She's reminding me what happened in my life. Okay, yeah, I will. Yeah, I will mention that. Thanks. And then yeah, so basically I was going to do 2 bros, and then I got ill, but I'd already paid the money, so they didn't really go fuck. So they let me fly and do that. And I got there, and I thought I was doing all right. I was like, okay, these guys are like pretty massive. But I looked around, they're like, they're really massive. I took my top off and stuff, and people were like looking at me going, whoa, whoa. And then I took my pants off, and they were like, oh, I think I'll be all right. I think I'll be all right, because of like the black. The annoying thing about that show is, okay, like, you get like 10 seconds to figure out which call out you're in. And I didn't know this. They're like, you need to go on, do 2 shots, like literally just rotate. And I was like, what? Don't need like, and they're like, bye. I was like, okay. So like, hit a back shot, a front shot, or whatever, and that determined that I was in second call out. Now, top five come back for the evening, but they were doing the call outs in groups of 4. So I won the second call out, but never got an opportunity to actually, because once they've done the pre-show, it's done. The evening show just thing. But I did get a call back for the evening show, and actually, when I look back at the quality of the people that were there, I was kind of happy just to make the top 5. Came in a lot lighter. Didn't want to do a repeat of the Universe where I washed out, so I came in like really, really dry, and I paid the price, which was my weakest area flattened out, which was my legs. And I'm not saying I would have won. The guy who won was outrageous, outrageous. But yeah, it was somewhere in the middle of that. And then that brings us to here, really. Just trying to like basically like even out the imbalances. I'm training legs twice as much as upper body, but anyone that knows me knows that I don't really train anything very much. So I train upper body parts every 9 days, and then train legs every 5 days. And I have a kind of a powery sort of leg day, and then more of like a volumey kind of intensifier day. That just allows me somehow to like recover. I don't know whether it's hitting different muscle fibers and stuff like that, going for more kind of strength stuff, and then I can recover from that just. Whereas I think if I did like hit training like I usually do, 5 days isn't going to cut it. So I think just doing that allowed me to do that. I had to strip volume down like a touch. And then that seems to have worked quite well. My upper body just seems to grow like anyway, so I just put it on the back burner. And I only think about my weaknesses. So when I'm going to sleep, I'm thinking of like the perfect squat. Not that I can squat because I can't get my fucking hands back. So I do SSB squats. And as long as I stay fucking bolt upright. That's the thing with that fucking thing. As soon as you lean forward, you're fucked. You got to be like fucking bolt upright. I see these people like collapsing. Yeah. And they're just doing deadlifts. And I'm like, oh.
Greg, you used to be a big fan of
the handles up as I go down, so like I keep it tight in my chest. As I go down, I'll push the handles up till it's almost like kind of parallel. That keeps you upright. That's what I used to do.
I try and like literally just pinch them, because you could do it without holding it.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of people, the power lifters, they'll pull it to clock the weight back so that they can use the lower back, which is cool if you're powerlifting. But if you want to hit the quads, I do it heel elevated as well, so I can track my knees further over. But yeah, like it's a fucking hard move. But people forget that it's a front loaded move.
Yeah.
So the camber on the thing is to position it almost like a front squat. Now, I'm sorry, if you start moving forward on a front squat, your front squat's fucking over. So I try and think of it like that. Try and pivot, and it allows you to sit back more as long as your camber's forward. As soon as you pull back and load it, then you're fucked. And I don't want to load my lower back. My back's all right. I want to put it all in the quad. So I found that's my split at the moment. Just training 3 days a week, which I've done for years. since the British, really, and I didn't train a lot then.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, Greg, what were you doing safety bar at Extreme that time we trained together? What weight was that? Was that 300?
No, it was 270, but I've done 300 for 4.
Aye, because that was like one of the. Usually, I'm quite confident when it comes to spotting. I think we all are. But see with a safety bar trying to spot that, it's fucking terrifying, mate. Like
you're also locked. Like you're locked in. You can't get out of it.
No,
you
I know.
can't like ditch the bar. You're fucking in.
I probably almost. I think I knocked myself out a little bit once. I remember going down, and it was a weight I've managed many a times. And I remember I went down and something just kind of kicked me forward, and I was coming up. I didn't try to adjust myself. I thought, fuck, if I come up quick enough, I could throw it on the hooks. But I got halfway up and I was just going forward and forward and forward. Oh. And I remember it fucking just caught, like, I was like, I can't fucking bin this. And because obviously the pad's here, and it fucking just launched me forward. And I was lucky enough, like at the bottom, there was like the safety rails, but they weren't up. They were just right at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I thought, fuck it, nosedive. It caught the front, and I was like facing the fucking beam at the front. I just missed it. I was like, holy fuck, that was close. But like it caught me and just threw me right forward there. Fuck it. If you
as soon as you get it, if you shoot the hips out, unless you're doing it, some people like do it this way. I personally am against it for bodybuilding, but a lot of people do it like strongman and powerlifter because they're looking for that power in the lower back and stuff. And like, but I'm not using it for that. I'm using it for a front squat position. But yeah, as soon as I click forward, fucking it's over.
It's a fucking thing. You're not coming back, especially if there's weight on it. If it's like
you're just locked in. You can't ditch the fucking bars.
But because you can't, it's not like you can throw those handles backwards.
You can off the back.
It's like that's on.
You can try. Let me just fucking clean this fucking.
You have to properly throw it. Fucking.
I'll tell you what weight I haven't done, and it's definitely anywhere near 300. I'll tell you that for free. I try and do my power moves like after I always pre-exhaust because I'm like old, so like I always try and pre-fatigue with like extensions or something. Mm-hmm. Just like I want to keep the weight down, like kind of. I know it sounds like I'm being a pussy, and I kind of am really. But gone are the times where I could run into the fucking squat bar and start headbutting it like, and just like throw the weight at my tendons. Like everything needs to be. Oh, does this feel okay? Okay, I'll go down and it's like this whole consideration thing. I need to like as well. You get like a little bit older, like you're not recovering from a big injury. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
You like feel machines would work better for you.
Well, because I have the alternating days,
mm-hmm.
I still think like a dirty power move somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I still, I mean, obviously like people aren't going to take it from me because I don't have my legs aren't shit, but they're like, people aren't going to look at me and go, oh, those are like the best legs. I'm going to listen to what he says. But I think if you look at someone who's got really great legs, and there are some people like in our gym that have like amazing legs, they just kind of have amazing legs sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So to maybe go and see like, oh, they got amazing legs, let's see what they do. I know guys got massive quads and they're just like 3 plates aside, just do 20 when they probably could do 30, and put the bar down and just somehow fucking shit happens.
Yeah. Over the years, I've totally seen like, when people like think, oh, I'm going to go do leg days, they'll just automatically think I've got to go and squat with a bar. And it's like literally maybe 8 times out of 10, squatting just isn't built for them. Like their ergonomics and their geometry, how they squat is just not for them. But they'll keep fucking beating it week after week. They'll maybe get strong in it, but like we've spoken about this before, Andy, like a person we could really watch who does amazing squats is James Hornsett. If you watch him go through the movements of squats, it's fucking awesome to watch. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The movement is upper body will stay like that the whole entire time. It's like up, down, up, down, up, down. The movement in his legs is perfect.
You can see the muscles like just activating. You're like, it's all in the right place.
It's working. And you see somebody like beating it week after week, and you're watching them. You're like, oh, their knees are not in the right place. Their fucking heels are bent in. They're on their toes. Their back's pivoting. You're like, that squat just isn't for you. And you try to tell them, they're like, yeah, but squatting gives you big legs. Like, yeah, maybe if you could fucking squat, it doesn't always work like that. Like, maybe you'd be suited for a machine.
Yeah, people say that. People say that, show me someone who can squat really heavy that has shit legs. Every powerlifter ever. Like, otherwise, every powerlifter have massive legs, and they don't. Yeah, I got really good at squat. I did the basics for ages, and I got really good at them. But I never really like my chest built mass from just lifting heavy shit. But like my legs didn't. You know, I was able to squat like 280 for like 8 or something, and but nothing happened. My squat reps really like haven't really got any. I mean, I don't squat now, but I guess like at my strongest more recently, probably haven't changed in like 6 years. You know, it's finding ways to make it harder, and that's not necessarily progressive overload. Isn't weight based. That's another thing that I think people get wrong. It's like you've got to put more weight on. Well, yeah, but like I can do progressive overload by moving my stance into a weaker position. Still overloading the muscles in a different way. So I'm looking for ways to overload that way now. I'm looking for like moving into the hardest position for me, because that's usually like where your weakness will lie, is where you're shittest at doing something. So I spend my whole like existence trying to do that. But yeah, I do use a lot of machines. The newest machine that I'm attacking is the squat press, the Cybex squat press. You know, the one, it's got that strength curve. I don't know. I haven't started adding bands to it now. I don't know. I'm not against bands, but something in me, like the squat press already has like a pretty extreme strength curve as you get higher.
What's the squat press?
It's like you will know what I'm talking about. It's just a plate, and it kind of like it's like a pivot.
Oh, like the leg press, but it comes like that. The one that Jamie Johal uses.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's very good.
It's just Cybex just call it the squat press. I don't know. I just read the people and I was like, yeah. So that one and the strength curve of it's like quite extreme.
Yeah,
so that's quite. You know, I like. We've got a Cybex Mark 1 at the gym, and I get like pretty heavy like on that. I just like that can take out of my knees a little bit more and stuff like that. I'm still looking for that. Like trying to take the pressure out of that depth a little bit more nowadays. I try not to wrap, because I find like wrapping, if you've already got an inflamed knee, compressing it together so the inflammation is usually like a downward spiral. And I've been down that road before, like wrapping everything and stuff like that. And it's not, you see some people like wrapping for leg extensions, and like you need to take like a month off. Like that's what you need to do. Just rubbing
I'll
Chinese.
Only wrap from the heavy sets now. Like that's the only time I'll wrap. If I'm going to do my big set, all up until that point, I won't wrap. I'll try and feel it, and if I know my knees are killing me, I was like, even if I wrap, it's not a good idea. But if I can get through to that point where I'm doing heavy set, like I'll just wrap it just to be sure.
Yeah, I think you can wrap like one exercise or something. It's just it's just obviously if you have inflammation, like inflammation creates inflammation. Like if you've already got an inflamed, then they rub together more because they're inflamed, and then it's more, and then it's like you go down this fucking like, and then you're wrapping tighter, and it's. I've been there, bro. Face down and numb.
Do you know what I always used to find amazing was when Eddie Hall used to squat, and he only put the bands round. It was like the thin bands round his patellas, because he says that's the only support you need in a heavy squat. And he's like never ever suffered with any knee pain. He's never wrapped. He's never used sleeves. Nothing. He was squatting. How much did he squat? It was ridiculous. 380 for fucking reps.
Yeah, way too much.
Like fucking stupid weight or whatever it was. And all he used to do was put the band down below his knee and like just make sure his tight. And he says it causes zero pain and it makes knees super strong. I was like, I would actually love to just give it a try once to see if actually it was true. And that's using all the wraps and everything like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I can't squat exactly the same as Eddie Hall, I'm gonna be fuming.
High like a shoelace around the bottom of your knee. Super tight.
That's true actually. I had seen that as well. Before.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Oh, dude, Dan, we'll have a wee look at your Instagram. Check out some conversation from that bad boy.
Oh, don't look at my story. Alice still isn't really talking to me. Oh shit! Yeah, no. What I need to talk about, when I went to the Amsterdam show, I proposed to my.
Oh, so you did? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just get that in there. Like.
So that was Thursday night. That's the Welsh one.
Yeah, that was the Welsh one. Things were okay, close to there.
What's the name of the gym you're training again? Is it Trojan?
Yeah, Trojan Gym. They've got some amazing stuff. I'm lucky enough so that like if something, that was the Max Muscle show. Oh, I didn't mention the Max Muscle show. After the British, I did the Max Muscle show, which Amp put on, which was a bodybuilding only show. After lots of people whinging about all the physique guys, Amp put a bodybuilding only show, and like the turnout was poor. So like after everyone whinged, like, fuck it, no one turned up to a bodybuilding only show. I mean, I'm not saying no one turned out. It was a good show. I quite like obviously it's long enough for me to not hate it. Thought that was quite a reasonably good balance for me.
Yeah, it's a good look, that.
Of like condition and fullness, whereas I've not really managed to get that again since.
Trying to find photos of you where you beat me at the Universe.
The universe pics are
they were shocking.
Yeah, they were shit. So I didn't. Yeah, there I am in 1943.
Straight out of the war.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say.
The main. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no, I was going to say is, like, do you know what I found amazing? Like maybe the last year is that they're actually putting bodybuilding first in the shows.
Oh, mate, amazing.
They're making you go last, and it's like, obviously as bodybuilders, I would say we need to peak the best. It's hardest to peak. Like being the bigger guys, you've got much more muscle to peak in that. So I think now that they're putting them first is such a better idea.
Yeah, you wake up in the morning like, I need to go on show. I need to go and do the show now, like right now.
Exactly.
I need to do it right now. Yeah, I think the biggest improvement I made from the British to the Universe was the leg depth.
Yeah,
with the hamstring and stuff like that. I didn't really think about the shows until afterwards, but Amp did do it like a comparison. I was like, okay, yeah, some shit changed. That's what I say about bodybuilding. Like, I'm getting on a bit now, but as long as I'm still improving, I'll still do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of these guys doing things like doing the supplements and stuff. You're only as good as your last show. So the way I see it is, if I do 2 shows and I'm the same, there's no point doing a third show. I may as well just leave it at the last one. If I'm not going to get better, you may as well just reflect on the last one. So as long as I can still look at it and, you know what it's like, the rewards are less the longer you do it. You have to work harder for less reward. That's what I've found. It certainly doesn't get any better into your mid-30s. But as long as I can see something.
What did you make of that stage?
The lighting was much better one side.
Yeah, but what I hated was the screen behind.
Yeah.
It threw everyone off. And then some photos, like, it was almost as if the upper body and the lower body don't match because the background's, like, all contorted. It's weird.
Yeah, I'll tell you what was the worst screen, though. When I was at the British in 2018, I did... that's my beautiful dog. Oh, look at him, little Abraham. He is now literally a 53 kilo, 14-month-old, and they grow to their 3. He's a fucking absolute monster.
I said before, I want a Cane Corso is going to be my next dog, I think.
Oh, mate, you have to. They're fucking hard work, though. Like,
imagine, yeah.
They're too fucking clever. Like, I've had experience with, like, Rotties and other dogs and stuff like that. They're on another fucking level. They're on a fucking another level, but you'll never find. Here's the shot where my waist looks really wide, so I didn't want to post it, but it looks kind of grainy. So I was like, YOLO, fuck it, it's going on. There's Teal, R.I.P. Teal. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Oh, the British back screen. It was just like a drop, and I remember I was doing my routine. I was feeling pretty fucked at this point, and I was doing the routine. And my routine as well was bollocks for the fucking British, and it got stopped short. Anyway, I turned to the back of the stage, and the screen was like oscillating.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think I'm having a fucking stroke.
Is that the USN one?
Yeah. And it was like moving, so I was like, oh fucking hell, I'm about to go down. So I'm like fucking trying to compensate the screen moving, thinking that the world's moving. So my posing's like I'm balancing against something that's moving, but obviously the floor isn't moving. Yeah. Oh mate, it was all over. It tripped me out. It was horrific.
The free high. Free high.
Yeah, it was not a nice high. That was like it was like, well, let's do this bong. What is it? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay. It's one of those. Yeah, it was DMT. Oh shit.
You're saying, just to kind of switch conversations, you were saying that you're a teacher. What is it you actually teach?
I teach music technology.
Right, okay.
So like people making beats,
mm-hmm.
And like sound science, so like acoustics and stuff like that. I used to produce drum and bass, and I've like played out like a little bit in various places. I actually did a gig with Ed Sheeran many years ago. Yeah, I played with like Aphrodite and stuff at a big club in like Motion, but basically I can't go to clubs
No.
because I need to be in bed by like 10. Like my set at Motion started at 2. I was fucked.
Fuck that, no
I
chance.
was like, yeah, fuck. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's when the party's really starting, but not for me. I literally did the set and then just fucked off like immediately. And then
See, if I can get on a night out, if I get past 11:30, that's a big fucking win for me. A big fucking win.
I had to like try and get another night's sleep in before I went out. I was like, yeah, it was fucked. So yeah, I've always been into drum and bass and stuff like that. And when I was like younger, and you know, it was all disco biscuits and raves and that sort of thing. But I was a bass player when I was a kid, and played in like orchestras and like double bass stuff. And then I'm probably like worse then than I am now. But I wrote some bass pieces for the grading thing called Rock School and stuff. So, but I always wanted to actually be a teacher. My parents were both pro musicians, and you know, sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. I wanted a bit more security, but also when I went from school to college, the dynamic was completely different, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed education. I think a lot of people don't get on with school because they don't fit, you know, the mold. The teachers are underpaid, the curriculum's dog shit, like the differentiated learning is impossible. Like it's just one of those things. It's just, there's no dig at like the school system, but like if you're more creative or you don't, like you're just gonna rebel. And I think there's so many people that do that and don't find their thing. So I just wanted to try and recreate that for someone else. Like, so I always wanted to be a teacher.
And so what age group do you teach? Like
post 16.
Right. Okay.
So majority is like, yeah, there's like 2 courses, like the BTEC courses are like 16 to like 19, and then we do an access course, so and get you to uni in 1 year, like fast track you. So that's quite a popular course for those that want to go to university. But fuck me, this year with COVID and stuff, doing part of it online and then coming offline and then started. Oh mate, it was fucking nightmare. No, we're technology guys, so we can do it like, we know how Zoom works. I can like control your computer through Zoom and everything and show stuff and have like audio routing. So like we did it well, but it was still, you imagine trying to get kids to come to school.
Yeah.
But there's no school. It's like you have to log, like no one, like the attendance was wank. So the last couple of weeks, we just completed all the students on Friday, and it was a fucking slog because a lot of them had done fuck all, you know, like they've just been at home what normal teenagers just wanking into a bag, I imagine.
See, obviously before COVID times, see when you were dieting and you're trying to teach, how hard did that get? Because like I can barely stand like like normal people, let alone kids.
Yeah, it was bad, but I kind of learned to kind of invite the break. You know, you put your teacher hat on and you get in and you get on with it, and it gives you like a mental break from the training. What I don't understand is how people do nothing. Like, so people are like, oh, how do you do a teach? I was like, how do you sit at home and just think about like your next chicken and rice meal? It is a long day. So I don't think I'd cope in a scenario where I only bodybuilded. You know, you see Hollingshead like starts like rollerblading and shit.
Yeah.
Like, which is probably a terrible idea, because I'm pretty sure if I fell even from the height I am, I would just snap. But like, you know, he started making tunes, actually, started making some music and things, you know, so I invited it. Don't get me wrong, like a week out, probably my lessons were a bit shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, just write on the board, don't fucking talk to me.
No, I always wondered that, because obviously I knew you were a teacher. I didn't know what you taught, but like some of my teachers at school were unhinged anyway, let alone low carb and, you know, trend out their box and that. So
yeah, you have to be unhinged. That's you know, that's the thing. For the, you know, there's hard times and stuff, and like but for the majority, I teach a subject that I really love. You know, I've been around since I was a child, and as long as some of the students are like into it, it should be fun. Like it should be obviously the marking and stuff like that. But ultimately, if it goes really well and you're not fighting it, then, you know, it can be good. I invited the break of sitting down, and then, you know, at lunchtime I would dream of going to the gym. It's like, you know, just kind of chopping and changing the day. I don't know how I would just stare at the wall. I'm not built for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, you don't seem the type.
No, I can't. I'm at fucking 1,000 miles an hour, mate. I can't even sleep. Like,
I was actually going to say, I was going to go back to your introduction where you said like your mate introduced you to weights and it kind of gave you structure and a kind of focus on your life. Like I have always been really, really into sports. Like any sport I've done, it was not just like I want to do this sport and that. It was like this, and 100% I wanted to do that, and I put everything into it. And it took me a long time to realize that this is what I wanted to do. But I really do feel that bodybuilding made me who I am. It made me like a better person in a sense. I don't know how to explain it, but I really do feel it made me very disciplined and humbled in a way towards stuff. Like when you realize how hard you can work for something and it's purely just for you. Sometimes there's no reward out of it. You just keep working it. And like in the end, you really do hope it pays off. So it kind of goes out everything else in your life. Do you feel like when you, given that, it gave you the same kind of sense in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, I mean, bodybuilding, like, it sounds kind of profound, but like saved me.
Yeah.
Like you know, you could tell anyone who asked my mum, like, how's Dan? They'd ask you, like, how's Dan? Like, cringe at the fucking answer. Do you know what I mean? I used to, because I wouldn't ring my mum, I'd ring my gran. So I'd ring my gran and she'd be like, you in hospital or jail? You know, she'd just answer the phone like that. She'd come and bail me out or whatever. Like, you know, I was not doing like mad shit, whether I wasn't like a fucking bad man or anything. I like, do you know what I mean? I was just being a bit of a cunt. You know, and the structure of that. I mean, the story around the bench is that, and I did say it's because Felix, the guy who brought it, actually it helped him to a certain extent, but it didn't help him, and he actually ended up committing suicide.
Oh, wow.
He was battling his own demons and stuff like that. And I always like to mention Felix because I feel like that gift, you know, and I said so at his funeral. To anyone else, it was just a bench.
Yeah.
Actually, the bench became like so much more.
Yeah.
You know, it was the start of the rest of my life, and the things that I put into training, just that one training, started off just I would train once a day, or you know, and I would just do it, like just evolved into something else that went from a kid who left school at 14 with no GCSEs, not even nearly a GCSE, like fucking nowhere. I went to a special school where they'd lock you in the classroom and shit. Do you know what I mean? And like when people started like stabbing each other, they'd like lock you inside. Do you know what I mean? Like it was fucking nuts. It was like this, you know, like like the special school had like a dome center, and then all the classrooms like around there. It was fucking just. You know, it was like Youth Defender fucking shit. It was horrific. And so I went from that, and then just the small like things allowed me to do a college course, like stick to something, and then do a degree, and then do like a level 8 in education as well, which is like laughable, like amounts of like progression. And it all came from bodybuilding, the structure. Like it's an all or nothing. Like I'm either spaghetti, like I went from like no focus, nothing, spaghetti, and now like every element. I didn't realize that I needed it.
Yeah.
What I actually needed was pure structure, and I enjoy it. You know, well, how do you only do this? And I was like, have you seen me when I don't structure my shit? Like no one fucking likes me then. Like, oh, you're so boring. Yeah, but you all whinged when I was exciting because I'd turn up at your house at 4 a.m. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, absolutely. And also, we've had quite a few guests as of you, and you'll probably find this as well on the Bash Bros podcast. 99% of people didn't start bodybuilding to look a certain way. They started bodybuilding because they felt a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And so, like, bodybuilding, as well as being an outlet, pushing everything out into this thing, like. That's why, like, the idea of taking your phone in the gym is fucking weird. Yeah. Like, I go to the gym so that no one can fucking talk to me. Like, I don't understand why I would take this thing. You know, you get a call, like, people control your emotions through this thing. Mm-hmm. You could get one text message and change your whole fucking mindset.
100%, yeah.
So I don't know why you would bring that phone and allow people into your energy. It's only an hour, 2 hours a day of just me, you know? And so... yeah, if you speak to most people, there was a reason for the training starting, and I feel that and if you had that, like that reason to train, those are the people that got the real fire, and usually the people that end up going like further. These guys who are like doing pump training, doing 15 sets of adductor because they, I want to compete. Everyone wants to compete now.
Yeah.
I rarely see someone who just wanted to compete and then actually managed to compete successfully. I think it needs to be more than that, because what we're doing is fucking nuts. Like nuts. Do you know what I mean? It's part of the fitness industry. It's not fitness. I'm fucked. You know what I mean?
I generally don't know anybody who, like, I've had so many people start the gym and they've said to me, like, I want to compete, and they've not fucking even trained like 6 months, and like they've seen bodybuilding and they're like, oh, I want to look like that, this looks cool. They do not make it. It's like you're saying, like, there's something in the person, like when they start the gym, there's like, and we spoke about, but it's like an inner fire, violence. It's like when that takes off in the gym, you're like, you fucking love it, and that's like what drives you to be better and like to achieve more every week. You love that feeling of achieving something in the gym, and it just leads you to the stage. But I mean, that is like the end result of what we're doing, but it's purely the love of training. If your desire is to go and compete, you're missing out the whole aspect that's going to get you there. That is what it, like, that's the whole thing. Just going up there and standing to compete is not like what is going to get you there. You need
also
to
competing's not glamorous, right? You see a few stage shots or whatever, you're led down on a fucking bin bag for 5 hours. And ultimately the organisers, no fault of their own, don't give a fuck who you are, because the show's already running 15 weeks late, because they all fucking do. They're running around like nutters. Like, no, like, you're a fucking number, and you're on a bin bag until you're told to get on stage, and then ultimately you need to do your shit and fuck off, because they've got other people like waiting to. There's no glitz or whatever, #blessed or bullshit. Like, do you know what I mean? It has to be more than that. If you look at that, goes, oh, that looks cool. Like, yeah, it's cool. I'll see you in 10 years. Is it still cool in 10 years? Probably fucking not. I
had no desire to compete when I started in the gym. I just love training. I love like just fucking myself up as much as possible. And if it made me look muscular in the process, I was happy. Then it just kind of led to this point where I want to be the best at what I do. But I mean, that's just my personality. It kind of just led me there. But 100% is different from people wanting to just compete.
I like that it's hard. Like, that's my favourite thing about it. My favourite thing about training that is hard. And when I get to a level where the things that were hard weren't hard anymore, I make them fucking hard. I fucking love it. So people are there trying to skip. It has to be fucking hard. It has to be. And if you don't enjoy it being hard, you're fucking getting nowhere. Unless you're a genetic freak, you see some of them, they just pump some stuff up and they get fucking massive. Like, that's cool. Like, that's not, if you're watching this wondering whether you're genetic, like, you're not, because you're asking yourself, like, I already know you're fucking not. But like, it has to be fucking hard. And now we live in an era where everyone's trying to outsmart being like working hard. Everyone's just like, you can't like outread being a pussy. That's the fucking bottom line. You can't, like, no matter, I read this study. It's like, well, the thing you don't know about studies is every study has an opposing study. That's why they have researchers and they compare all the studies. So a paper isn't a fact. So you can equate all your fucking facts to me, but if you're a pussy, then nothing's going to fucking happen. Oh, but sarcoplasmic hyperplasia means that, yeah, but that's, like, my opinion on that is that that's just genetic, like, it's genetically impacted. Like, if you're one of the guys who can just pump and just get fucking massive, then I think sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is more for you. For your average people, if I just sat and like pumped them, nothing would fucking happen. It has to be fucking hard.
Yeah, probably each one of us would like love to go to the gym every day and just beat the fuck out of ourselves. Like, we'd probably love that. It wouldn't work. It would be very counterproductive what we do. But I mean, there's fucking, you nailed it right on the head there. Like, people, what were you saying again?
Pussies?
Yes, pussies.
I said that.
They want to get away from the hard work. They feel that there's another aspect they can do to get away from the hard work to get them to this level. It's not like the hard work is what's going to get you
here. You need that and time. Ultimately, speak to anyone who's anywhere, and I'm not really anywhere. Like, 10 fucking years in the bank competing. Like, 10 years. Like, rarely you finding someone that's flying down into the 5 yard. You know, you see someone that fucking sits down. I want to compete like next year. Okay, cool. And I've had to have these conversations before. Do you want to compete just because you like the idea? You're going to compete because you're not going to fucking win anything, and that's cool. Like if you want to just compete, you're not going to win it. Like that's your game. That's cool. Some people are happy just having 2 kids and working at Nando's. Like I love Nando's. You get free Nando's. There's loads of perks. That's sick. But I'm not.
Yeah.
I want to try and be competitive. Do you know what I mean? I'm not afraid to lose. I'll move up so that I lose, and then I know I'm in the right place. But yeah, the whole thing, everyone's talking about competing. You go to the gym, and none of them, like 95% of them, they don't ever fucking compete, do they?
No.
But everyone on their Instagram's like, oh, hun, fucking gonna smash it, mate. Fucking pro card. Yeah, oh, hun, you look great. You probably do look great. Loads of people look great that don't train. I did the doors for 7 years. Saw loads of girls that look a lot like these bikini girls that just lived on cock and vodka. Just like, didn't do any training, just all the cock and vodka. And they look great. And I think it's hard as well for women because they go into competing, and especially the first ones as well, and they think that placing and where you compete has anything to do with you being like a good person or being attractive or being desirable or stuff like that. Like it's just a show. Like, and at that time, like it's a very subjective like thing. It has nothing to do. And so a lot of these girls, they go and do one show and they don't win, and they think it's like actually about them, and it's fucking not. I say this to a lot of. We're going on a bit of a tangent here, but I say this to a lot of. You need to remove. My body isn't me. It's a completely separate thing that I've created. Like, do you know what I mean? And so if someone doesn't like it, which like, if you go out for a drink, how many people go, like a girl will come up to you drunk and go, oh, why you like that? No one likes it. It looks horrible. And you're like, yeah, contrary to popular belief, I don't give a shit what you think. You know, and it's the same for women as well. Like, and I think that unless you can remove yourself as a female, that's a very dangerous thing to do. I want to compete to validate myself as being a woman and being attractive to do a show. You're definitely not going to find that in doing a show. Start on OnlyFans instead.
I always used to say that, like, see if somebody came up to me and said, oh, it's disgusting how you look, I'm like, I really don't care. I do this for me, I don't do it for anybody else.
Yes!
But the fact, like, they come up and actually can say that to you, that's literally like walking up to a really fat person and go, you are fucking disgustingly fat. It's exactly the same thing. You would never do that because that is, like, against the law. Imagine coming to somebody who's, like, crafted to look how they look for themselves, to go and compete in something that they want to do, and you just came up to me and just said, I look disgusting.
Yeah, well, it's self-projected narcissism, isn't it? Oh, what you do must be for my pleasure.
Yeah. I was just trying to give them. I'll just look at them and I'll probably give them like a really bad remark back.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, there has to be.
I just look like over them.
I'll insult you back.
Just look over them.
Just couldn't care less. I couldn't give a flying fuck what anyone.
Oh mate, I want to like. It's like people like
be nasty back.
It's like abs all year. It's like abs all year. Like, oh, you know, I want to like lean bulk, so I want to look good. If I don't give a shit if I look like a fucking turnip 364 days a fucking year, okay? As long as I look good enough to win a show one fucking time, like in 1 hour, I don't give a fuck what I look like, ever. You know what I mean? I'm no fucking oil painting. I look like a fucking acid attack victim. I don't give a shit what I look like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm here to win shows. It was Sharon from Direct Line after a couple of fucking bevies telling me, oh, it's disgusting. Oh, cheers, Sharon, you fucking 18 stone fucking beach manatee. I don't give a shit what you fucking think. I go and die in a bush. And I'm not even mad. That's not even me mad.
Some folks just honestly, it's funny that they have like one regard for like some of the people fat, but they'll easily say something to you. And it's just like totally, even though it's the same level, they just don't see that.
Oh, I try not to. It is my own fault. You know, people look and like shout stuff. Like, oh, it's like, you know, when you're skinny and you can wear a vest and it's like, okay, because it gets hot and I'd like to wear a vest like out. Like that would be okay because it's like hot. I get real hot. But people just shout shit out of you. Hey, fucking rider. And you're like, that's fun for like a day. And then you're like, so I can't even wear a vest. So I'm looking forward to wearing a string vest. Like, you know, not like a you know, the one that's like all made out of like string.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do when I'm old, it's gonna be fucking wicked.
You know what used to really fucking like, and usually I don't get annoyed by things that bodybuilding related, but obviously I used to work in oil and gas, and everybody had like their tea breaks and shit together, and it was literally like every fucking day somebody would sit next to me and go, "What you got today?" I'm like, "The same as I fucking did yesterday, and the same I had the day fucking before." But you must like have it bad if you have to go sit in like the teacher room with other people. Like, they must annoy you, or they just like probably give up by now.
I'm lucky enough, so like we have quite a small team, and like I actually really like all the people that I work with. So, so like I am lucky that we don't like. Yeah, we're usually not talking about food. We're just slanging the kids off or something.
I used to work at Subsea 7, and I used to work in the ROV engineering. Well, I was an intern in the ROV engineering department, and there was this Dutch guy every fucking morning. So I had the 6-pack bags. Right?
Yes.
This guy is like top of oil and gas, fucking 250 grand a year job, like smart as fuck engineer. And every morning he'd come over and he was fucking dumbfounded by this fucking 6-pack bag. Every morning he was like that. "Oh, what have you got today? What have you got today?" I was like, how does the boxes go in the bag? Where do you put the freezer bags? I was like, get to fuck me, honestly. Like, what is fucking...
Buy one.
What are you eating today? And I was like, the same thing. Same fucking thing. The same fucking thing.
Just buy one and be like, "Here's yesterday's pizza."
Yeah.
Here's a naan bread, and then you can like stuff some Twix bars like in there if you like them cold. I'm not a cold chocolate guy. In fact, I'm not a chocolate guy. But you know, if there was an option, I'm not a cold. I'm not.
It just used to baffle me because it was always the people that like were sitting there and they just went and picked up their fucking Burger King or McDonald's, and they look like flubber sitting next to you, and they're just like, "Why do you bother? Why do you eat all that stuff every day?" I'm like, "I don't know about you."
Don't you get tired of eating the same thing?
Yeah,
like
tired of being fat and unhealthy.
I literally like. I find eating an incredible waste of time. I actually, it just fucks me off. I've got shit to do. Do you know what I mean? And if I've got to eat a meal that's like over 1,000 calories, it's going to take me fucking half an hour to eat it, really, isn't it? Like, I can't be fucked with it. So I do actually blend some of my meals. So like, I'll do 3 tins of tuna and stuff like that. And like, well, one of the reasons is because in between my lessons, I've got 15 minutes. I've got to pack down one class. Like some kid's going to whinge about like how his mum ate his homework or whatever. And like, there we go. I've got to set up. I don't have that half an hour to eat the food. So I've kind of got to find a way.
So imagine like the trap smell in this blended shake. It's just like chugging it. It's like a belt.
You got to do it in one. You got to do it in one. It's not a sipping beverage. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a little. You got to it's got to just go in. It's over. If you have to stop halfway, you're fucked. It's like fucking leaning forward on the SSB. You can't. There's no saving it. You will throw up. You will 100% throw up. So like I've just usually got loads of shit on and shit that I have a job that never ends. You know what I mean? There's never a point. You can never do the perfect lesson. You can never do it never fucking ends. So I just find eating an incredible fucking waste of time. Do you know what I mean? The only time when like cheat meals and stuff like that, like I don't ever go, I want a cheat meal. It'll be because it's off season. I've got a bit lazy because I eat a set diet all the time, but maybe twice a week I'll let my work take away with me, or I'll be doing a mix down of some music or whatever, and I'll let myself slide and then just get like a takeaway or something, or like get a shish kebab, or meet up with like my mum and like have some normal food, or like meet up with someone, like with it being like an event, other than just like sitting there. I just find it, I don't know. I'm not a food guy. I think it's because my mum was a shit cook. I think
never crave like in the last bit to prep, like burgers or pizzas or cakes or anything.
I have dreams like about like potatoes filled with pasta. And, because I don't even get like obviously I do get a craving for stuff like if you go past a bakery or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I really like when you're like really in, what I miss is just when you eat something and you're like, I'm full.
Mm-hmm.
And like in prep, like that never fucking happens.
Yeah.
So I just get like the volume of carbs and you like eat it and like that feels like a thing. Rather than like, so I do miss that feeling, but because I don't when I'm like I rarely eat cheat meals like when I'm bulking because I'm just eating so much that I don't fucking want them. I don't like eat sugary stuff like generally, like, so I don't have a craving for it because I do think sugar is an addiction. Do you know what I mean? And actually, if you get out of that, then you're craving. So it's like, oh, you know, you see it on like people's diets, and then you get, oh, thing is, I just had a craving, so I like had to eat. And I was like, I just, you know, and you try and do it like, okay, these people are normal, you know, like that's cool. You're the nutter, you know, and you try and like talk, but really you want to be like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You had a craving for a Mars bar, you could just not eat it because you have free will. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I was fucking walking down the street, this Mars bar fucking bummed me. I was just,
literally like one bite out of a Mars bar. It's not even worth your time.
Oh, mate. Yeah, so I didn't really get cream. I've never been a foodie. I was a druggie.
But I've got to have something, mate.
You know? And like, so people were into food, and I was into things that smelt funny. And it doesn't make you very hungry.
Yeah, that's true.
I was a really skinny kid, and I could easily just, you know, forget to eat all day and stuff like that. It was like, and my mum can cook, but generally, like, she would be going out like gigging in the evening, so like food was like, there it is, don't even fucking talk to me if you don't like it, and you just fucking eat it or you don't. Yeah, like, so most of the time it was like that. My dad was a vegetarian, so no one wanted to get involved in his shit. It was fucking stuffed aubergines or some bullshit fucking lentils. So, like, we never ate, well, not never, but we very rarely ate together. It wasn't, so the mentality was like, hello, puppy. Sorry, my baby's
There he is.
Yeah, it wasn't like an event. My mum was like food for fuel. Do you know what I mean? I think she felt like it was a waste of time. She had shit to do. She was going out gigging or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm not. So I guess that kind of makes it easier.
Yeah, you will
definitely.
But you know, ask me in a month.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you're doing the graftism too.
I am, and you're doing a show. Oh, hey, fuck me, what's that? Yeah, that's the thing about a Corso is slobber. Fucking everywhere. Fuck me. I have to like have kitchen roll at all times. Also, if he shakes, I have to try and like dive on him. Otherwise, he will shake it like up the wall to like a place that you'll never ever get to.
My lab, he doesn't like drool often, but when he does, it's like this thick fucking.
Oh mate, it's like that all the time, like all
icicles.
The time. If I'm cooking steak, I'll cut the rind off for him, and it's just fucking like puddles. It's fucking mean. Anyway, what was I actually fucking saying?
The graftism show.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. I think lots of people are, apart from you, Andy.
Yeah, I decided to.
Greg said that you were being a master
by myself.
Said you were being a master pussy. I didn't say it. He
So I've already beaten him, mate. I don't need to beat him again.
Yes, that's what we need. I was hoping we could like start some like fucking Arnold trash talk, but it just doesn't really work.
You've said this before in the podcast. I want to, but I can't be fucked now. I can't be bothered with it.
Also, like, I don't know. I find it really hard because I actually just want the best person to win. I know that sounds like I just want like whatever the best is. I want that to win. Like that's what I want. And if it's not. Sorry, puppy. If that's not me, then I'll be able to look back at that and take that.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's why no one should talk about shows until like, all right, that's enough of being cute. Shut up. And if you don't comment on the show until you've had enough time to emotionally remove yourself from it, because usually you can book back. You know, there's been some times when I've been like, okay, maybe I like should have tipped it, but you're really putting me off, Abe. I'm going to shut the door. But most of the time you can look back and you can see why it happened.
Yeah.
You know, the judging can never be fucking wrong because you agreed to be judged.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that, yeah.
You signed up to a thing and you went, I'm going to be judged by people who work for this. And if they decide it's not you, like you can't go, oh, fuck. No, you sign up for it.
Yeah.
So, like, it can't be wrong. It's a judge sport and you agreed to that. Alice! You're in the bath. Can't you pretend that you've got something good in the bar for the dog?
I like to think I'm very humble in defeat. I mean, even if like I don't 100% agree, it's like, well, it's not my, like, I'm not the judge, and that's what they've clearly said for the day, and I've got to be accepting towards that, and I've just got to come back and do it again if that's the case. There's no point moaning about it. That's their decision. You can't change it. No one else is going to fight it for you. It is what it is.
Well, no one ever has whinged and they've rung up and gone, actually, I can totally see your point.
Exactly.
We'll send you the
just take it.
Just shut your fucking mouth. Just like, you see it so much, like fucking fly shit on the top of their Instagram story.
As much as you can complain, like 9 times out of 10, the whatever was the result is the result, and that's what the vast majority has agreed. There's very rarely something like he should have won that show. So
yeah,
if 9 times out of 10, that's a pretty high fucking stake.
Yeah, and it can be splitting hairs at times, but that's the fucking nature of the game. It's not like a fucking MMA fight. It's like, okay, who won? Well, that guy's dead, and you're standing up, so it's pretty clear what's happened here. And obviously, like, there's points and stuff like that. No one's into that, but I mean, it's usually pretty cut and dry. This guy's conscious, this guy's not. And we're standing around in our pants. It's subjective.
The judges feel is the best. It's not like
exactly, and that's what That's why I never ask for judges' feedback, because also I can't be something I'm not, and what I'm not is I'm not a very pretty physique. I'm a mass guy. So for me to kind and try and fit into something else, what I've got to try and do is just do the mass game as best as I can.
Play your strongest cards.
Exactly. So I know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to fit into one thing. I'm just trying to make what I do enough so that it doesn't matter what they're looking for.
Yeah.
That's the way that I see it, is that, even though this person, and you can change the game in one show. You walk out and they're like, fuck. Now they're comparing everyone else to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's like what I say to people, competing. Get out there, just fucking hit a most muscular. Just fucking as soon as you can. And I'll do that at fucking Craftism, mate, Greg. You better be watching.
I wouldn't even need to pose, mate.
You would, I'd just be there, like, oh my God, who's this? Just be there staring at eagles. And they're like, this is what, a Nazi salute.
He's one.
See Kyle, and he's like, okay, in a circle.
Let him win.
Oh my God.
Fucking hell, not this again.
The beard, keep this.
This is just how Nazi Germany started. It was one bodybuilding show. I'm going to put that and hopefully, not hopefully, I'm definitely going to do the Arnold. Do you know what I mean? I think, like, as well with a qualifier, you can get better. So even if it doesn't rock my way, I'm not writing it off. Yeah. I think there's a lot of good people and there's a lot of very different people. And I think that the boat could rock in that time. And so, like, obviously, like, it would be perfect to just skim through the whole thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Whoever wins the Graftism show is going to get the kudos, like, boost and is going to be set to win. I've seen people set to win and then you have to nail it on the day and it not happen. So
really do like probably 80% of the guys are doing the Arnold, like a good chunk of the good guys are doing that show. So I think it is going to put a lot of perspective in place to who's doing what and who looks the best.
Oh yeah,
who's the front runners. I think it's going to be a very good show.
We're going to have a look at the front. Definitely a good look at the front runners. Yeah. I mean, are some people going to come in half baked? Some people are going to say they come in half baked if they don't get what they want. Yeah. That's my other favorite thing. Why would you go into a show half baked?
Yeah, we've had this discussion before. The warm up shows.
Yeah, need to stop.
Warm up shows. Yeah, I mean, I think that, see, this is the problem I have with having 97 pro qualifiers is that you should qualify, like in real life, could we qualify, right? Because we go there. You should actually have to qualify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should actually have to, like, do well, win or do well in a regional to then go and do. But because of the money game, like, they're even, like, offering Arnold invites to people who did regionals last year.
Yeah, last year, yeah.
Which is weird because Ellis won the British in wellness, but she's not allowed one. Only the people that did a regional. If you win then you I don't understand.
Yeah.
So
I just literally couldn't turn up to a show and not look near enough my best. Or at least try to look my best. I couldn't do
give
that.
it a fucking go. You might fuck it up. I usually find I look better once I've got one under my belt.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm trying to not hit the first one.
No.
Yeah. At least try.
I could just turn up just so I could qualify. Like if I turned up and I didn't look good, I'd be fucking raging at myself for like not doing that. Just like saying like, fuck, he beat me and I'm like better than him just because I turned up looking half shit. Like I just couldn't do that.
It's a different mindset though. You'd be like, oh yeah, but he beat me, but I wasn't even trying. So
no, I just couldn't. I need to
I'm not into that. It's like, well, yeah, but I could have been a fucking astronaut, but I didn't do anything towards being one. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll be that. I think it's going to be like the old UK BFF days.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be like that level. I don't even I forget all the people that are doing it. Obviously, it's all of us. Josh Law's looking fucking enormous. There's who else is doing it? Matt Tofton's doing it.
was pulled out.
Huh?
Joe done a show early. He's trying to aim for the
Joe Ballinger. He was now. I saw him. He ducked that one.
Yeah, he's not going to instead.
He's not going to hold on. I was right. Yeah, maybe we should mention that show. See, I thought Joe won.
Nah,
I thought Joe won.
Joe looked really good. He vastly improved, but it's just his condition wasn't where it should be.
I just don't know how he made everyone look small.
He was full as a house.
I mean, I wasn't there because we're looking at photos and shit like that. But so obviously when a show happens, I ring everyone that was there.
Like Joe looked really, really good. I will give that, and he's vastly improved from last year, 100%. But I know, like I've stood next to Joe, I know the condition he can get in, and it just wasn't the signature condition. And I know what he's capable of. Connor had the condition. I would say it was a very close call at the top, but I mean, I just think Joe can be a lot better. And he knows that. He knows what he's going to come in for the British final is going to be much better.
Who's going to win the British finals there? Josh Malley, probably.
Yeah, possibly.
Probably. I mean, although Josh has thing is, you look at Josh on his own and you think there's a lot of imbalance here.
Yeah.
And then you put him on a stage with other people and he's like, I don't give a shit.
It's just the size is so overpowering, but I mean,
just because you think, he's got small arms, but they're not small. They're fucking enormous. It's just that he is just fucking enormous.
Yeah.
I think from the side, he really shows off his depth and weaknesses. His thickness is not there what it should be. When you see his legs, fucking massive, but when you see him do a side chest, there's just not enough the size to where he compete with the shorter guys. But then his height and his mass in that sense,
it's just a massive person. As soon as he steps out, he just goes, "What the fuck?"
Just so hard to fill that frame.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
It depends how much Connor can improve and how much Joe can improve. It's all about improving and becoming the best.
I think Connor needed to come in further because his weakest part seemed to flatten. That's his legs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're super dry and hard all the time, they just need a bit more sweep to them, I think.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's a fullness thing. If you're coming in a bit flat, your weakness is what's going to flatten. That's just how it fucking is.
Yeah.
And Hollingshead had that problem for fucking years. Do you remember that? He'd look fucking massive, and then he'd turn up on stage and be like, "Where's your upper body?"
Yeah.
And then, obviously not where's your fit. I'm being harsh, obviously.
Yeah.
But comparatively, I remember speaking to him about it, and and he was just saying it just flattens out. I get in shape in the upper body. Obviously, that doesn't happen anymore. So whatever he does now is definitely he nailed it. And I must ask him what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd find he'd go and and it would just flatten out. It'd be enormous, and you'd be like, you need to go on stage now. And then the stage came, and it just looked reduced. I just don't know how.
This year's going to be very good for people. This year's going to be a lot of good guys coming on stage. It's not just going to be 2, 3, and they're all going to be dominant shows. I think it's going to be fucking almost 10 really good people coming up on the stage.
Yeah, and then potentially for the Arnolds, then just anyone from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean that could be anybody come from anywhere.
So let's hope COVID stops them all from coming.
I do know there's some people coming from Europe, but I was they're okay. I wouldn't like.
I try not to look when I did the Amsterdam show. I saw like everyone was tagging in like the Netherlands and stuff like that. I was having a little poke around, and I saw a couple of these guys, and I was like, they are fucking enormous. And I was like, oh fucking, like I'm nowhere near anywhere. Like a couple of them had flown over from Kuwait and stuff like that.
Oh fuck, yeah, that's a different league.
Like this one guy came over, I can't remember, it was Khalid or something, and yeah, he got called out, but they didn't call his number. They called my number, but he stepped forward, and I was like, "Oh, I must have it wrong." And I stepped back, and I thought, "Oh, well, that is over. Then I'm not going for the evening show." But it was actually me. So I think it's really hard to have a perception of what you look like. Do you know what I mean? Whenever I go to a show, I literally look at everyone and be like, "Sober, all these guys are better than me." So I don't know. That's just my mentality. But we'll go and do the thing that I've rehearsed doing and see what happens. And sometimes it turns out that they weren't. But I can't get a feel for like for people. Like I was like training with Josh and stuff like that. And I was like, let's fucking Josh Law is fucking absolutely fucking enormous. And she was like, no, you're kind of like the same. You just can't like. And I was like, oh, okay. I still think that I'm like really small. Do you know what I mean?
I do the same. I totally do the same. I walk in the gym every day and there's nobody close to my size. And I'm looking at people that are like 80 kilos. I'm like, he's big, the same size as me.
Yeah.
Times I do it, like, you're nothing near me. You stand next to me, you look in the mirror, like, oh Christ, the miles away.
I'll tell you who's the wild card, and he is wild. Max O'Connor.
Nah.
He is fucking wild card. Mate,
he's a wild card.
That he can quit training for like 2 years and then just put on like 30 pound of muscle.
Muscle memory.
30 pound of muscles. He came second at the Universe in 2018. I'm sorry.
He is very good. I'll give him that.
A phenomenal fucking shape.
Yeah, he does.
Obviously, he went a bit vegan and stuff, and like it went a bit weird. But like, it was another guy back in the day called Geraint Baldwin. I don't know whether you ever heard of him. But he was another Welsh guy that would literally just go on a tear up and stop training for like a year, and then just do a prep and just eat loads of food into the prep and just get more and more massive. It was so annoying. It was so annoying. Luckily, he couldn't really be fucked with it and didn't continue. But he was the one who won the Inter show in 2012, the British, and beat Luke Sando.
I do like that this show is not just like a Two Bros British final. It's like the Arnold Classic, and everyone's like coming out the fucking woodwork. Like, I want to win the first UK Arnold Classic. That's a fucking title I won.
What, imagine?
It's quite cool. There's so many people coming up for it.
Arnie will award.
Exactly. Who doesn't dream of shaking Arnie's hand? That is like your childhood fucking dream.
I better fucking pad my trunks more than usual to soak up any drips that might happen. Might be wee, might be something else.
Hide your bone.
And on that note,
get to the football.
Oh, we've definitely gone over.
That's about an hour and 20 minutes, so my stomach's eating itself. So, but no,
I think mine has to eat itself for a little bit longer, I think.
No, but we appreciate you coming on, Dan.
Thanks for having me, man.
That was obviously
awesome. Thank you.
So, and like you said, we'll be seeing all of us at the Arnold UK. So,
yeah, man. And I do mean it. Good luck to both of you, man. I'll be waiting.
You too, mate.
Just make sure you bring your A game. I want to see it, man. I'm fucking excited, and I love British bodybuilding. And mate, game time. Fucking love it. I'm just glad that there are enough great bodybuilders here to make a show like that happen. I'm fucking stoked. Whatever happens, man.
Bringing it back, like from 10 years ago, I'd say like it's actually finally at a scene where it's really good watch. Not just like 2-3 good guys. It's a fucking great big bunch of guys what it used to be like. So it's good it's coming back.
Yeah.
Wicked, man. Big love to you both. And I'll catch you
very much again, mate. Thank you.
Horrible banter over Instagram, no doubt.
All
right, man. Take it easy.
Cheers, bye.